Who is Maxwell Lord, and what is his motivation for having it all, as he puts it?
It's interesting. Maxwell Lord in Wonder Woman 1984 is an incredible creation and personification of an era that sells the dream of success and frames it in a very, very specific way, and at any cost, get what you want, except that what you want, and except that getting what you want is never enough. And so it's just the constant pursuit of more, which is obviously so well represented in, you know, the era I grew up in, frankly. And it's the terrifying face of potential and getting what, you know, getting whatever it is you set your eyes on, you know, and you know, thankfully, because of the people behind making this version of Maxwell Lord, it's not a two-dimensional experience, although the villainy of greed can be so black and white, and yet somehow they find a way of surprising you with this character.
So going into that, you know, he is the villain of the film. As an actor, how do you get into the skin of a villain?
There's so many different ways of getting into the skin of a character or a villain. It's really fun to play a villain. It's really fun to be bad. It is permission to you know, go into the dark and express that darkness as honestly as you can and as humanly as you can. And specifically with Wonder Woman 1984, there was so much on the page to actually meet and to achieve that it wasn't a matter of, ooh, how do I become this bad guy? It's actually, how do I achieve what I'm reading, what is being presented to me, because it was so rich and so, you know, so whole that it really was simply an opportunity to and a challenge to just fulfill, and that was what it was about, really. It was about seeing what was in front of me and doing everything that I could, and having Patty Jenkins as my director and my guide, and to get me there.
It's funny that you bring that up, because I was going to ask you next. You know, Patty Jenkins is returning for the sequel. Can you talk a little bit about what it was like working with Patty as a director on set and throughout the process?
Patty Jenkins is an actor's dream, especially if you want to be challenged and you want to work hard and have the permission to explore and take risks. And she's the kind of person who creates the environment where you're willing to do anything because it's safe, and everything that you're afraid of, you know that you can face it, because she's there with the demand and with the answers and with the safety. And it's why performances in her movies are always next level, because she knows how to draw that out of a person. She knows how to draw the darkness, the vulnerability, the compassion. It's really an incredible thing to experience, and yet not a surprising one, because it's what drew me to her in the first place when I saw a movie like Monster and everything that she's done after, being completely aware of the kinds of performances that she gets from her actors, and how she frames that with an incredible aesthetic and an incredible story, and there isn't a detail missing. She's the kind of director that makes you want to go to the movies for the complete experience.
Definitely, for sure. I'm gonna switch it over to, you know, your co-stars now in Wonder Woman 1984. You worked quite a bit with Kristen Wiig in the movie. How was that? And can you share any fun moments from set? You know, we always see Kristen as the funny gal, so this is a little bit more serious role for her.
Well, I'm an incredible fan of Kristen and have been for years. And it's interesting because something that I've always noticed, and it's probably what makes her so deeply funny and can get, you know, really right into our hearts with humor, is I think that there's a serious side to her, and a really exciting, unpredictable vulnerability, and that's something that is, you know, utilized to really make us laugh. And I've always been kind of aware that it can be flipped at any moment and go from making you laugh to breaking your heart. And I never thought I would be a part of something where we would get to see things that we haven't seen before from her in particular. But I always expected to see it as a fan and as an audience member.
Got it. So we have time for one more question. I want to wrap it up with this question. Why do you think Wonder Woman resonates with so many people, specifically gals Wonder Woman, for example? You know, everyone's been taking, you know, it by storm and is so in love with her character. You have any thoughts to elaborate on that?
Well, I think Wonder Woman, you know, resonates with so many people because at the forefront of it all is humanity and hope and compassion. And there's fierceness and empowerment, but there's a kind of humor and it's met with gentleness. She fights for the gentle-hearted, and she puts her body and her powers in between, you know, that which is trying to attack the most vulnerable, and that's a very emotional thing. So it isn't just, oh, badass hero whatever. I just made up a word. It's emotional. I remember seeing the first Gals and Patty's first Wonder Woman, and being moved to tears when she stepped into no man's land and started to you know, fight. It was emotional action, and whether we want to admit it or not, it's what we all want.